really was. Again, for the record, I have been here since 1992, and as early as 1995, we were already discussing this issue. I was fortunate enough to be able to listen to the debates during our time with Chief Justice Marcelo Pernan, who was a senator then, Senator Ernie Baceda, Senator Toring Tolentino, Senator Neptali Gonzalez, and the sponsor of the then anti-political dynasty law, Senator Orly Mercado. So some of the questions that arose during that time, I might be able to bring up somehow. No? And we were not successful in passing the bill during that time. Hopefully this time with the proper clarifications and the loopholes that we might be able to plug, this time around we might be able to pass it. So let me start by asking. I heard it yesterday, but for the record, what do we want to achieve, Mr. President? We want to prevent power and influence, the transfer of power and influence to a certain family. Isn't that right?
Yes, Mr. President. Good Senate President. Yun po yung layunin ng panukalang batas na sa pamamagitan ng pagsunod sa utos ng konstitusyon, malimitahan o mapigilan, mabawasan, mapigilan na yung kapangyarihan at yung kapatid nitong yaman din ay makonsentra lang sa iilang pamilya dito sa atin. Sa pamamagitan nun na mabuksan natin ang political space sa mas maraming mamamayang Pilipino na mayroon din pong kakayahan, mayroon din pong pagnanais na magsilbi sa ating mamamayan through the public service, Mr. President.
All right. That are prevented because of the transfer of power of those who are already incumbent.
Yes, Mr. President.
Okay. Now, to what degree, and up to what degree are we envisioning in this particular bills, 1901?
In this particular bill, Mr. President, layunin po na ay i-define at ipagbawal ang political dynasty relationship up to the second degree of consanguinity and affinity. Mr.
Ang second
President.
degree, ang ibig sabihin, asawa, anak, ama, ina.
Yes, Mr. President. Sakop po ng second
Apo.
degree. Opo. Kung sa consanguinity, kasama po yung magulang, anak, lolo-lola, kapatid, at apo. Sa affinity po...
Apo sa tuhod.
Hindi po yung apo sa tuhod. Hanggang apo lamang po. And then sa affinity, sakop po ng second degree yung biyanan, yung daughter o son-in-law, yung grandparent-in-law, brother and sister-in-law, at grandchild-in-law, Mr. President.
So sa second degree of affinity, yon ang extent ng
Opo, Mr.
sakop.
President.
All right. So how do we envision this? National or local? O anong relasyon po nung naiisip natin dito sa nilalaman ng 1901?
Isa po, Mr. President, na tinakda, ilan sa salient features ng panukala ay ipagbabawal yung political dynasty relationship to the second degree of consanguinity and affinity, una sa mga national positions. And then, ipagbabawal din ang political dynasty relationship to the second degree of consanguinity and affinity sa local positions. Wala pong cross-prohibition between national and local positions. At last but not the least, Mr. President, ipagbabawal ang political dynasty relationship to the second degree of consanguinity and affinity between isang opisyal sa national level at yung party list at isang local official at yung party list, Mr. President.
Napasok doon sa sa second degree of consanguinity.
Opo, Mr. President.
Paano po yung magkapatid?
Yung alin po, Mr. President?
Magkapatid sa national.
Ganun po, napasok po sila doon sa second degree of consanguinity na hindi silang magkapatid na hindi sila pwedeng tumakbo o magsilbi sa national position ng magkasabay o overlapping, Mr. President.
So ano gagawin natin doon sa incumbent natin ng mga national officials.
Hindi po sila maapektuhan nung panukalang batas or kung magiging batas ito, Mr. President, dahil itong panukala ay prospective in application sa susunod pang eleksyon pagkatapos nating posibleng maipasa itong panukalang batas. So,
Prospective.
yes, Mr.
Prospective,
President.
let's say to hopefully 2028.
Hopefully po, Mr. President.
Eh, paano kung hanggang 2031 yung isa?
Isi-serve out po ng incumbents ang current terms po nila. Kahit lampas po yung yung kasunod na eleksyon pagkatapos ito maisabatas dahil kung yung current term nila ay hanggang 2031, Mr. President.
Well, anyway, I asked that question to pick on the mind of the distinguished lady, but I have heard from some of our colleagues that they are looking at a different interpretation when it comes to that, no? Because I tend to agree. We cannot find influence, the transfer of influence, pagka national. There is no transfer of influence. Like for example, if Bam Aquino is running for senator and his father, Paul Aquino, will run as senator also while he is incumbent, I do not see how a transfer could be made. The transfer of power or influence. That's I've heard that. No, I tend to agree. I said no. I am not saying that I agree. I tend to agree. So perhaps one of our colleagues or even the President pro temp might be taking that up later on. That
I
issue.
look forward to that,
Let me-
Mr. President. Pero madagdag ko lang po, Mr. President, at this point, tinitignan po natin hindi lang transfer, pero consolidation ng kapangyarihan, whether through simultaneous or successive na pagsilbi sa public service or pagtakbo para sa public service, Mr. President.
Okay. All right. Sige. I'll leave that issue alone in as much as perhaps it'll be taken up later on by the others. Let me move on by going directly to the bill. On page 2, letter D. Page 2, letter D. Partnerships without the benefit of marriage. Ito yung sa ano nyo to definition of terms. Ito po nung araw, nung debate namin, napag-usapan namin to, walang asawa, anak, magulang, at ang naging tanong nahirapan silang sagutin nun Paano yung mistress? Hindi kasal. Girlfriend. Hindi ba ganun din na influence noon as nung asawa? No? And so yun ang tinanong namin. Senator Fernan, during that time, asked Senator Orly, define mistress. Na-timing nga kami dun sa part na yun because the definition really was very difficult. So I'm looking at letter D of your bill and it says partnerships without the benefit of marriage refer to common law relationships between two persons who cohabit, declare, or present themselves to the public as a couple without marriage. It shall include civil unions, unions without marriage under Articles 147 and 148 of the Family Code, and any other contractual arrangement similar to marriages or civil unions. So you're saying that for purposes of this act, parties in partnership without the benefit of marriage shall be treated as spouses as defined above. Meron lang maliit na tanong dito. Kami. Letter D, partnerships without the benefit of marriage. Ito yung sumasagot doon sa tanong na paano yung mistress. Hindi po ba? Pero, you go to letter J, number 3, dinidefine nyo naman yung spouse. Spouse refers to an individual who entered into a special contract of permanent union with another individual in accordance with law for the establishment of conjugal and family life. Sa akin kasi mas importante ito kaysa sa letter D. Ba't nauna yung D sa J? Nauna pa yung mistress dun sa original na spouse.
Tama po, Mr. President, ang good Senate President na maaring masakop ng partnerships without the benefit of marriage ang relationship ng isang lalaki sa isang tinatawag na mistress. Pero hindi lahat ng mga relasyong iyon ay sakop nitong partnerships without the benefit of marriage. Dahil ang buong definition niyan ay, or elements ng partnerships without benefit of marriage ay kailangang nagko-cohabit sila and openly nagde-declare or nagpe-present sila ng sarili nila sa publiko bilang isang couple kahit walang kasal. So maaring mayroong mga relasyon ng lalaki sa mistress niya na nagko-cohabit sila at nagpapakilala sila bilang couple sa public. Pero mayroon ding mga relasyon ng lalaki at mistress niya na hindi ganon. Maaring hindi sila tumitira sa isang tahanan at maaring hindi sila nagpapakilala sa public bilang couple. Wala namang pong sinasabing mas importante ito sa ibang mga definition.
It was just
Yes,
a,
Mr.
it was
President.
just a quip. Dahil bakit nauna sa definition yung,
Okay po, Mr. President. Masyado ko
yung
pong
mistress
siniseryoso ang
kaysa
Senate
sa spouse.
President, Mr. President.
Anyway,
And party alphabetical din
no,
po.
no,
Mr.
I'm
President.
going to the main question.
Yes, Mr.
Okay.
President.
Binanggit nyo rito yung Articles 147 and 148 of the Family Code. Yung pong 148, the unions under Article 148 of Family Code or those couples who are not permitted to marry or without void, such as bigamous marriages. Okay? Bigamy, of course, is a crime under the revised penal code. No? Article 349, committed by contracting a subsequent marriage before the first is legally dissolved or a spouse is declared presumptively dead. Now, in this case, in our letter D, are you going to require that there is a final verdict from the court to declare a couple to have committed bigamy under 349 of the revised penal code before they are treated as spouse under this bill? The question is, well, bigamy is a criminal offense, so their innocence are presumed until proven otherwise by the court. So we will be claiming bigamy and not prevent a man or a woman who is a friend or befriended a politician from running for public office. Kung kailangan patunayan natin na girlfriend niya yun or nagpakasal siya roon at kasal sila.
Hindi na po kakailanganin, Mr. President, ang finding of bigamy ng isang korte for purposes of this act. Dahil ang for purposes of this act ay ibinibigay ng panukalang ito sa Commission on Elections na sila po ang magsabi kung ito bang mga elemento ng partnerships without the benefit of marriage ay nag-e-exist o hindi. Maaring may finding ang isang korte na bigamous yung relasyong iyon, maaring hindi pa. Pero kung nagko-cohabit yung couple na yun at nagpapakilala bilang couple kahit hindi sila kasal, iti-trigger po nun on the part of COMELEC yung prohibition against a political dynasty relationship, Mr.
Paano
President.
po kung hindi sila kasal? So wala bigamy. Alright. Mag-girlfriend sila, nagpakilala sila, mag-girlfriend sila, meron silang relationship, extramarital relationship or whatever you would want to call it. Magpa-file yung isa, sabi niya, break na kami. Break na kami. Hindi ko nakakilala, hindi ko boyfriend niya si Tarpolano. Ba't mo ko papipigilan niya mag-file? Hindi ko nakaano-ano ngayon yan. Break na kami. Walay na kami. I am protected by Section 1 of Article 5 of the right of suffrage, which is suffrage may be exercised by all citizens of the Philippines, not otherwise disqualified by law, who are at least 18 years of age and who shall have resided in the Philippines for this 1 year, etc., etc. In other words, pinapayagan ng konstitusyon na mag-file ang kahit sino at kahit pumasok sa public service ang kahit sino. As a matter of fact, no literacy, property, or other substantive requirement shall be imposed on the exercise of suffrage. Yun ang problema ron. So again, I'm bringing this out because it could be a loophole. You will be preventing Mrs. Tarpolano from running, but you will be allowing the mistress of Mr. Tarpolano to run, or Mayor Tarpolano.
Mr. President, kung may mag-couple talaga at cohabiting even without the benefit of marriage, tapos magsinungaling yung isa na, ay break na kami, hindi na kami couple, Isa po yun sa grounds sa ilalim ng Section 8 for cancellation of Certificate of Candidacy or nomination. Particular po yung letter B ng Section 8 na willful concealment or falsehoods made in the sworn statement required under Section 5 of this Act. So kahit po magsinungaling yung girlfriend or boyfriend na sila'y split na, dahil may willful concealment or falsehood, magiging ground pa rin for cancellation of COC kung may finding ang COMELEC na may potential na political dynasty relationship. So, yung parehong limitation, disqualification sa asawa ay mag-a-apply din po sa ganitong couple, Mr. President.
Your Honor, you are right in a perfect world. But what if it is found before? It is found after elections. Na-elect na, nahalal na. Kaya questionin ngayon yan, ay abot hanggang Korte Suprema, magkakaroon yung laban na yan. Pero in the meantime, nakaupo na yun, na-proclaim.
Mr. President, sa ganyang mga kaso na nakalusot sa COMELEC, sa mga earlier processes tulad ng cancellation of Certificate of Candidacy or nomination, or even later processes like disqualification. Kung nakaupo na, nagsisilbi na sa public service yung tao, pero mapatunayan kahit later na nag-willfully conceal siya or nagsinungaling siya tungkol sa status niya, dun sa sworn statement niya po sa isang political dynasty relationship, pwede rin po siyang makuha waranto, provided for po ito dito sa ating panukala. So ma-avoid ab initio po yung kanyang pagproklama at pagsilbi sa public service, Mr. President.
Okay. So how do we cover naman, let's say, o sige, hindi nagsinungaling. Nalaman natin na itong si Mayor, may girlfriend, yung girlfriend, papile siya ng Certificate of Candidacy for Mayor, tapos na term ni Mayor. So, hindi pwede.
Hindi pwede po, Mr.
Dahil
President.
alam nating girlfriend or
Opo,
alam ng
Mr.
COMELEC,
President.
may nagfile, may nagsabi, girlfriend yan.
Maaari po, may
Okay.
nagsabi,
Oh.
Mr. President.
Yung kapatid ng girlfriend,
Wala na po tayong magagawa doon, Mr. President,
Ayun.
dahil hindi natin nasakop sa second degree of consanguinity mula kay Mayor or affinity mula kay Mayor, yung kapatid nung girlfriend niya, Mr. President.
then we are not preventing the transfer of power or influence. Dahil yun din yun. Kung minsan nga, yung girlfriend mas matapang kaysa sa asawa eh. Di po ba? Ba ito isa sa mga pwede nating dapat na hanapan ng solusyon sapagkat yung anak nung mistress sa ibang lalaki. Paano yun? Pwede yun? Aba, yung anak ko hindi pwede, sabihin ni Mayor, yung anak ko hindi pwede. Pero yung anak nung naging girlfriend ko dahil ayaw niyong aminin break na kami, pwede?
Mr.
Hindi ba
President.
yung anak ni Mayor, talagang feeling nun, bihira namang mundo to, bakit ganito to?
Lalo na po, Mr. President, kung kung totoong break na si Mayor at yung ex-girlfriend niya, sa committee report natin sa ngayon, Mr. President, hindi rin po sakop yung anak ng ex-girlfriend ni Mayor sa ibang lalaki, halimbawa sa dating karelasyon niya, Mr. President. Dahil hindi pa rin sakop sa second degree of consanguinity and affinity kay Mayor, Mr.
I think
President.
that's one loophole we have to look into because therefore the transfer of influence or power is there. Hindi rin natin na-prevent dito sa ating gustong maging batas, no? So that's one, I think we should study that closely and look at that particular issue.
We will study that,
Kasi
Mr.
kahit
President.
gawin nating fourth degree of consanguinity pa, katulad ng gusto ng iba, wala sila dun eh. Wala sa degree of consanguinity or affinity yung anak ni girlfriend at si girlfriend at yung kapatid ni girlfriend at yung tatay ni girlfriend. Wala lahat eh. Pero ang influence nung kay Mayor noon, mas matindi. As a matter of fact, baka siya pa kasama sa bahay, hindi yung asawa, hindi po ba?
We will study that, Mr. President.
Please.
Although it could be argued na, lalo na dun sa huling halimbawa na itinanong, Mr. President, ng Good Senate President, kung ex-girlfriend na ni Mayor at hindi si ex-girlfriend ang nakaupo bilang Mayor, na medyo mitigated yung posibleng influence of transfer or consolidation of power dun sa tatay or kapatid or
Oo.
anak ni ex-girlfriend sa ibang lalaki, Mr.
But that
President.
means kahit hindi nila sabihin break na sila, hindi natin pwedeng pagbawalan yung anak ni girlfriend at saka yung kapatid ni girlfriend. Nothing in 1901 will disallow them from filing.
Mr. President, kung hindi nila sinasabi or hindi alam na sila ay break na, klaro yung within the second degree of affinity si girlfriend or ex-girlfriend in truth kay Mayor. Pero yung concern po natin na tatay, kapatid, anak ni
Ni
girlfriend or
girlfriend,
ex-girlfriend opo sa ibang lalaki.
Hindi sakop.
Dahil sa teksto ng committee report hindi sakop, pwedeng i-deliberate talakayin sa deliberations before the COMELEC, Mr. President.
Yeah, well, speaking of the COMELEC, I was there during your hearing. I can see the problem of the husband of Yusek Mabik. The libo ito eh. Thousands ito nationwide. Thousands of mayoralty positions, vice mayoralty positions, councilors, governors, vice governors, board members, nationwide. Libo ito. Paano babantayan ng COMELEC lahat ito?
That's exactly why, Mr. President, ang payo talaga, actually ang hiling ng COMELEC nung mga pagdinig natin ay na ang ilagay sa committee report ay hanggang second degree of consanguinity and affinity. Sabi pa nila, yan lamang ang most enforceable, or rather, sabi nila, that is the only enforceable option. Dahil sabi nila, and I say this, Mr. President, kahit yung bill ko rin at pati ni Senator Robin ay hinihiling hanggang fourth degree of consanguinity. Sabi po ng COMELEC nung mga pagdinig natin, ma-overwhelm ang electoral system kung kailangan nilang i-check at i-counter-check ang lahat ng birth certificates, marriage certificates, Senomar, ng mga possible dynastic relationships kung hanggang third degree o lalo na fourth degree daw ang ating ipasa, Mr. President.
With the permission of the lady and gentleman on the floor,
Yes, sir.
Senator Bam Aquino wishes to interject.
Just a quick interjection with the permission of Senator Ontiveros.
Yes, Mr.
Yes, sir.
President.
Yes. In that hearing, Mr. President, napag-usapan yung implementation. And I'd like to remind everyone that we're already implementing an anti-political dynasty clause, and that is the one found in the SK Reform Bill that was introduced by Senator Ejercito way back in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. And for the past 2 cycles, nai-implement naman po ng COMELEC yung hanggang second degree of consanguinity na pagbawal sa SK. And I asked this in particular in the hearing at nabanggit po ni Chairman Garcia that they can, and they are confident that they can implement up to the second degree of consanguinity. Just to interject, Mr. President.
Yeah. Well,
Salamat,
madali
Mr.
po
President.
yung madali yung sa SK eh. Ang tinitrace lang nila yung barangay captain eh. Di ba?
If I may, Mr. President, the actual provision is an outright ban. So kahit po ang presidente may anak na mag-SK, bawal po yun. And if you will consider that that's 45,000 barangays times all the chairmen and all the kagawads, it's actually quite massive, Mr. President. Mas kukonti ang number of mayors, governors, congressmen, and so on and so forth. Mas malaki po ang ban ng SK dahil per barangay po ito. And they're able to implement it, Mr. President.
Well, okay. Hopefully, they will be able to do that also as far as this is concerned because yun kangay matetrace yan. Baka wala masyadong nagre-reklamo. Pero dito, they are not affiliated eh. The mistress is not legally affiliated eh. Lalo na pag hindi umamin. So, how can we trace? Even if there are only 1,000, how can you trace? Di ba?
Opo, matitrace po natin, Mr. President, dun sa elements of cohabitation. Kung yung isang lalaki at yung mistress niya ay nakatira sa iisang tahanan at nagpapakilala bilang couple kahit walang benefit of marriage. So any evidence allowed by the rules of evidence of COMELEC in administrative cases may be used para i-establish po patunayan itong cohabitation. The standard of proof should be substantial evidence in accordance with other administrative proceedings before the COMELEC. At dagdag pa po pala, Mr. President, bukod dun sa SK, ang Bangsamoro din po ay mayroon sa kanilang administrative code at pati electoral code na political dynasty prohibition to the second degree din po of consanguinity and affinity. For the record, Mr. President.
All right, let me move on, but in relation to my question about bigamy, may I ask if Section 3 also of this bill considers in the definition of spouses adulterous relationship? Adultery in the Philippines, of course, everybody knows is a crime under Article 333 of the Revised Penal Code, defined as a married woman having sexual intercourse with a man, not her husband, and the man who has carnal knowledge of her, knowing her to be married. Again, same question. Are we requiring that there is a final verdict from the court to declare a woman to have committed adultery under Article 333 before they are treated as spouse under this bill?
Hindi rin po, Mr. President. Hindi po kinailangang maghintay ang COMELEC ng finding ng korte tungkol sa isang adulterous relationship. Basta po, yung mga elements sa dinedefine nating partnerships without the benefit of marriage ay nag-exist, na nagko-cohabit sila sa kanilang common law relationship at nagde-declare o nagpepresenta sa sarili nila sa publiko bilang isang couple without marriage, Mr. President.
Paano kung not guilty?
Kung alin po, Mr. President?
Not guilty pala eh.
Not guilty ang alin po, Mr.
Meron lang
President.
nag-charge ng kung ano.
Kapag ganun po ang i-charge for the purpose of knocking out one or the other na nagfa-file para sa certificate of candidacy, so may bad faith on the part of yung ibang party na magbibigay ng ganyang klaseng information, papasok po yan, sa ilalim po yan sa Section 8 na malicious or frivolous filings to trigger the anti-political dynasty prohibitions contained in this act, Mr. President.
Page 7.
Yes, Mr. President.
Other grounds for cancellation. Cancellation. And therefore, kung na-elect na, pwede pa rin abulin, kuwaranto.
Kuwaran to po kung
Alright.
nag-commit ng alinman sa other grounds na ito, kahit malaman po, pero mapatunayan ng COMELEC, kahit pa po nagsisilbi na sa public service, Mr. President.
Right. And this also falls in the category of concubinage, which is again a crime in the Revised Penal Code. You are not requiring a final verdict on any charges of concubinage.
That is right, Mr. President. Tulad sa ibang mga situations na pinag-uusapan natin, hindi po kailangang maghintay ang COMELEC ng finding ng isang korte. Basta't yung mga elementong iyon ng cohabitation, including yung isang common element sa concubinage na tumitira sila sa isang tahanan, exist, Mr. President.
I'm bringing this up because I expect some legal practitioners to question this particular issue. Na paano kung not guilty? Walang final guilty verdict. Presumed innocent until proven guilty. Yung ganong issue. And then the issue of Article 5. That's why I'm bringing this up so that it may be addressed already by the committee, or perhaps during the period of amendments, we will be able to come up with the answers. No?
Yes, Mr. President.
May I ask how we can trace and implement the affinity of relatives in cases of bigamous, adulterous, or concubines? Madali po yan sa illegitimate children, no? Pero about the other relatives within the second degree, you were saying earlier na wala tayong laban doon.
Yes, Mr. President. Dahil ang sa binibilang po na covered dun sa sakop na second degree of affinity in the case of these situations, sakop lamang po yung karelasyon nung tumatakbo or incumbent na public official at hindi po yung mga kamag-anak nung kanyang karelasyon, Mr. President.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, sige, we'll go back to that later on during the period of amendment, hopefully.
Yes, salamat, Mr. President.
Baka
Also, if I
sakaling
could...
baka masakali makahanap tayo ng pamplug ng loophole dyan.
Opo. I look forward to that, Mr. President. And huling dagdag lang po, at this point, Mr. President, depende po ang finding ng COMELEC sa ebidensyang iaharap sa proceedings nito. So yung sa administrative proceedings ng COMELEC kung saan yung rules of evidence nila ay pwedeng magamit regardless of no finding or a finding of the court, Mr. President. But I look forward to the period of amendments on this issue, Mr. President.
All right. In section 7, you say there, a verified petition must be filed by a registered voter.
Yes, Mr.
Page 6 ito eh.
Opo.
May I ask the rationale for requiring that a petitioner must be a registered voter? For example, a person with a verified personal knowledge would like to testify that certain candidates are in violation of this bill due to their relationship with another candidate. No? Alam nila na mayroong relasyon to na ganito. They will be prohibited to file by reason of not being a registered voter.
Well, Mr. President, to state it positively naman po, kaya po hinihiling ng ating committee report na registered voter ang mag-file ng verified petition or complaint. Siguro dahil may interest talaga po siya sa issue ito na parang ina-aver niya na kapag hindi ginawa ng COMELEC ang tungkulin niya na i-prevent ang isang political dynasty relationship sa eleksyon na napapasama yung interest ng voter na iyon. That is one. Mr. President, pangalawa po, posibleng para, at ito po ay rekomendasyon ng COMELEC po, para siguruhin na yung petitioner, dahil registered voter siya, alam din niya yung civic duty and obligation niya, Mr. President.
Medyo, mahirap
Mr. President, Senator Pangilinan.
Yes, with the permission of
With the permission of the lady
Sponsor
and gentleman,
and the
Senator Pangilinan.
just very quickly, I think when it comes to the filing of the complaint, the requirement is that the one filing the complaint must be a registered voter. However, I don't think it excludes witnesses
Yes.
from being able to testify if they are non-voters. In other words, even if you're not a registered voter, I don't think you are if you're not a registered voter, you're not disqualified from being a witness in proving the disqualification case.
Thank you, Mr. President, Senator Pangilinan. That is correct, Mr. President. Pwedeng maging saksi kahit hindi registered voter sa isang proceedings ng
Kung
COMELEC.
saksi siya, then hindi siya yung petitioner.
Opo, Mr. President,
Saksi lang,
kung
witness lang
saksi
siya eh.
siya. Opo.
So the petitioner, ang gusto ninyo dito sa bill, kailangan registered voter
Yeah, that is correct, Mr. President.
in the place that he is complaining.
Not necessarily, Mr. President.
Oh, yun na nga eh, you see? So it doesn't follow that maapektuhan yung vote niya ron sa lugar niya. Let's say the voter is registered in Muntinlupa, but he knows that the mayor of some town in Pangasinan has a second wife, and the second wife is filing a certificate of candidacy. So voter siya sa Quezon City, pwede siya mag-file doon sa Pangasinan ng petition sa COMELEC na ito hindi hindi pwede yan, gano'n.
Broadly speaking, Mr. President, pwedeng i-argue po at sa tingin ko po na a voter anywhere in the country na gustong mapatupad ang isang anti-political dynasty law at gustong hindi mapigilan ng COMELEC sa paggawa ng tungkulin niya by having the complete and correct information ay pwede. And also, Mr. President, in the case of national positions affected by the prohibition on the of political dynasties, of course, a Filipino registered voter sa kahit aling bahagi ng ating bansa ay pwede pong mag-file ng verified petition, Mr. President.
Bakit kailangan verified, kailangan registered voter pa? Ba't di na lang natin hayaan na kahit sino na pwedeng mag-petition? Because kailangan naman, mapatunayan niya yung petition niya.
This
Di ba ba?
representation is
Di ba?
open
And we
to
will allow a
refining this
witness
petition,
anyway who is
Mr.
not a voter.
President.
Di ba? Let's say somebody lives in California and di ba, alam niya mayroong milagro na nangyayari sa isang probinsya ron.
Yung isa
Dito.
pa pong scenario, Mr. President, na maaring bigyang daan ng ating panukalang batas ay kung mag-provide lang ng information, either ang isang hindi registered voter o di kaya hindi registered dun sa lugar where the relevant political dynasty relationship is obtaining, then acting on such information, pwede rin namang motu proprio ang COMELEC ay kumilos po, Mr. President.
Okay, all right. Again, moving forward. What about for spouses candidate with pending annulment? Oh,
Dahil pending pa lang po yung annulment nila kung sakali, Mr. President, considered kasal pa rin po sila. So, sako pa rin nung second degree of affinity prohibition on political dynasties, Mr. President.
so what if the annulment is granted upon filing of the certificate of candidacy but is pending appeal sa Solgen? How do we treat this? Granted na yung annulment eh.
Opo.
Pero may appeal sa Solgen. Hindi rin siya pwede pa.
I suppose, Mr. President, pwedeng kumilos ang COMELEC with certainty dun sa actually nag-o-obtain na sitwasyon at that point in time. So matter of timing din po. Ang malinaw lang po sa committee report natin ay habang kasal pa rin sila, habang pending pa ang isang annulment petition, they are to be considered as spouses, kaya't sako pa rin po dun sa ban, Mr. President.
Pag annulled na,
Pag annulled na po, Mr.
Pwede na.
President,
pwede na.
ganun po, Mr. President, pag annulled na.
Pwede na. Yung spouse, pwede na.
Pwede na po, Mr. President.
Yung anak, hindi pwede.
Yung anak ang
Second
hindi
degree
pwede
of
kasi
consanguinity,
consanguinity.
Pero
Hindi
yung
naman po
asawa-
nababago yun. Opo, Mr. President.
Basta annulled na.
Opo, Mr. President.
Okay. So, are there safeguards that exist in the present bill from being weaponized by people who want to harass candidates through strategic dynasty allegations?
Yes, Mr.
Meron.
President. Sako po yan ng Section 8, other grounds for cancellation of certificate of candidacy or nomination. Kasama po doon yung malicious or frivolous filings, kasama po yung willful concealment of falsehoods, at kasama din po yung submission of spurious, forged, or falsified documents, Mr. President. And additionally, Mr. President, Section 14 din po ay tumatalakay sa punishable acts. Mas marami po ito ng konti, kasama po, at ito po ay parurusahan sa ilalim ng Omnibus Election Code bilang election offenses. Kasama po yung willful concealment or falsehoods made in the sworn statement, submission of spurious, forged, or falsified documents required, aiding and abetting the production of any kind of spurious, forged, or falsified documents submitted, malicious or frivolous filings to trigger the anti-political dynasty prohibitions, using, threatening to use, or causing the use of force, violence, coercion, intimidation, or extortion to compel the filing or non-filing of certificates of candidacies. Pati po resigning an elective office for the purpose of enabling a spouse or relative to assume or seek such position, and any other willful act to allow the existence or perpetuation of political dynasty
Ibig sabihin, bago mag-eleksyon,
Mr. President.
magre-resign.
Yes
So,
po.
hindi na siya mayor.
Opo.
Pwedeng tumakbo ngayon yung kasama niya.
Ganun po. Para
Yan ang mga
magkunwaring,
sinasabi
Mr.
niyo dito.
President, na
Okay.
hindi incumbent.
Ah.
Mr. President.
Now, suppose the candidate discovers only after filing that he is legally related within the second degree to an incumbent. Is he automatically disqualified? If he fails to report within 5 days, kasi doon sa Section 5 ninyo eh. Section 5D. He fails to report within 5 days under Section 5D na siya pala may kamag-anak pala. Ano yan? Disqualified siya?
I'm sorry? Right now po, hindi po, Mr. President. At may presumption of good faith kung nagkamali siya. Hindi siya nagsisinungaling or naglilihim sa COMELEC, pero hindi niya, by mistake, hindi niya na-disclose na meron pala siyang potential political dynasty relationship.
So hindi,
Mr.
ano?
President.
Okay. Now, if a son or a daughter was never acknowledged or raised by his father and runs for office, later it turns out it's his biological father, is an incumbent, is he automatically disqualified? He was never raised and never acknowledged by his father. But it turns out later on, anak pala niyan.
Kung Mr. President,
Disqualified.
opo, kung malaman na lamang later dahil earlier dahil hindi nga po siya kinilala ng kanyang ama or mga magulang bilang anak, kung madiscover later, then magiging vulnerable po sa quo warranto proceedings, Mr. President.
Okay, yeah, well, again, it's good that we're putting all this on record because we want to ask this question so that COMELEC and other implementing agencies later on can refer to this debate as to the legislative intent of this bill. No? Now, my last question is very interesting for Senator Robin Padilla because under Sharia law, a public official may have multiple legally recognized wives and children. So under this bill, would all the wives and all the children from each marriage be covered by the prohibition within the second civil degree?
I would suppose so, Mr. President. Bagamat hindi ako eksperto sa Sharia law, hindi ako kasing maalam tulad ni Senator Robin, but I would suppose so. And I would also suppose, Mr. President, kaya nga po, bukod sa SK Reform and Empowerment Law, yung administrative and elective codes ng Bangsamoro, ang isa sa mga pioneering laws sa ating republika na may anti-political dynasty provision. Opo,
Okay,
Mr. President.
siguro then we deserve further study. I don't think you would want to pass this very like a bullet train, So we would I would further look into the answers based on your replies so that we can ensure that we have covered the possible loopholes. So I think the distinguished lady, Mr. President, thank you very much for taking much of your time.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. President. And as a last note, definitely hindi rin po ako pabor sa bullet train. In fact, this has been a slow train. 39 years na po ang biyahe niya. And super hopeful po ako na sana yung ating 20th Congress ang makapasa ng unang pambansang anti-political dynasty law, Mr.
Thank you.
President. Salamat po.
Yeah. Session is suspended for 1 minute to allow the Senate President to ascend.
Earlier, the majority leader manifested that after my interpellation, it's the turn of the Senate President pro tem. So we recognize the President pro tem, Senator Ping Lacson, to continue the interpellations.
Thank you, Mr. President. First off, let me thank the distinguished sponsor for taking over the chairmanship of the Committee on Electoral Reforms and People's Participation from this representation. And likewise, I'd like to commend and congratulate her for coming up with the committee report, which is now under plenary debates, where previous Congresses failed. You have succeeded. So my congratulations.
Salamat po, Mr. President. Although hindi ko pa sigurado kung pasasalamatan ko yung dating chair ng Committee on Electoral Reform sa pagpasa nito sa akin. Biro lamang po, Mr. President. Maraming
Thank you.
salamat
Yeah.
po.
With that being said, may the distinguished sponsor also allow this representation to seek clarificatory or clarification on certain provisions.
Very gladly
Under
also,
the
Mr.
measure.
President.
Yeah. I'll start off with Section 2, Declaration of Policy. This, I think, is called from Section 26, Article 2 of the 1987 Constitution, Declaration of Principles and State Policies. And I will quote verbatim, the state shall guarantee equal access to opportunities for public service and prohibit political dynasties as may be defined by law. In fact, ito pong particular na provision na ito, mainit yung debate ni Commissioner Suarez and Commissioner Davide. I think this was also taken up during the committee hearing. Now, my first question is, given that the wording of the constitutional prohibition on political dynasties as may be defined by law, thus giving the Congress discretion on the definition and coverage of political dynasties. Now, how do we consider an argument of allowing a narrower application focused only on offices where power is most concentrated, such as the president, governors, mayors, exercise singular or centralized authority over the administration, appointments, budget execution and law enforcement within their respective jurisdictions. Kasi may conflict po eh. Yung isa broader, di ba?
Opo.
Mas broad. And the second portion of Section 26, medyo restriction. So how do we, as a matter of policy, how would Congress resolve that particular contradictory provision?
Mr. President, that's a very interesting and important question. In principle, dahil sinabi ng Konstitusyon na as may be defined by law, iniwan nung framers, gaya ng sinabi ng good SP pro tempore, sa Kongreso sa pagde-define yan. Interestingly, dun sa una ba na pagdinig or isa sa mga regional consultations, lumabas naman yung parang ibang version ng tanong ng good gentleman mula sa Cavite. Tinanong naman ng isang panelist doon na ano kaya't pasa muna kayo ng batas prohibiting political dynasties dun muna sa local positions. I recall dun sa isang hearing dito sa Senado, sinabi ng or sinite namin yung studies ng Lente at saka Ateneo School of Government na kahit makapasa lang ng anti-political dynasty law hanggang sa second degree of consanguinity, magi-impact na yan at mag-free up na yan ng up to 30% ng mga local positions. So, yung tanong po ng good SP pro tempore is not unreasonable within the broad interpretation ng mandate na ibinibigay ng konstitusyon sa Kongreso. Though of course, yung ating committee report ay gustong saklawin lahat. Doon pa lang sa implementasyon nitong unang batas na maaari nating maipasa, Mr.
Yes,
President.
Thank you, distinguished sponsor. And that would bring me to my next question. Relatedly, yung national positions versus local positions. I'm referring particularly to legislative elective positions like senators and congressmen. Kasi if we will follow the old traditional and the old civilization definition of dynasty, not political, dynasty, ito yung parang iniiwasan yung, in regard to this measure, iniiwasan yung concentration of power at saka ng wealth. Kasi yung in the olden times, di ba, pag sinabing dynasty, emperor, ano yan handed down to generations, di ba? Different generations. Hindi na inalis yung power, hindi na inalis yung wealth, yung opportunity to accumulate wealth. But in this case, kasi we are elected senators and we don't have the power to execute. Di ba tayo lang gumagawa tayo ng batas hindi tayo nag-execute ng laws, hindi tayo nag-implement. So, yung relation ng legislative officials vis-a-vis yung local officials, for example, mayors, governors, etc., parang unfair. Dahil kung pag-usapan natin concentration of power and wealth or influence, parang unfair naman do sa members ng legislature. This is not to please 4 pairs of siblings in this body. But that is from my point of view, yun po yung aking pananaw na dapat wag idamay yung legislature sa political definition ng political dynasty. And at the proper time, I'm planning to introduce an amendment in that regard.
This representation will study that proposed amendment of the good SP pro tempore at the proper time.
Yeah.
At the same time, reiterate ko lang po na legislative positions are also covered because the dangers of concentration or control over those very resources, power, and wealth are still present here. Tayo pong mga legislators, we have the power of the purse. Kung mag-asawa halimbawa ang taga-set ng budget o at taga-gastos nito, halimbawa lalo na sa local level, may panganib po talaga. Also, the executive branch checks the legislative branch and the legislative checks the executive. Kung sa simultaneous holding of power, especially sa local or consecutive, mas mahirap po yung pag-check and balance or pag-oversight sa previous na implementation ng mga policies or implementation ng mga budget. Kung may shared familial tie, ang taga-check ng isa't isa, may panganib po doon. And I could not say na yung ganyang mga dangers or possibilities ay absolutely hindi nag-e-exist kahit sa legislator lamang. Mr.
Ang
President.
disagreement ko po doon, kasi yung executive position, centralized yung power. In the case of Congress, collective not centralized in one particular individual. Unlike in the executive, if you are the president, maybe also the vice president, or maybe a governor, a mayor, nakakoncentrate yung power. But in our case, one senator or one congressman cannot just decide because we are a collegial or a collective body. That's my argument, no?
Actually,
to your response.
Opo, I was also going to mention that, Mr. President, na collegial body tayo. Collegial body ang House. And of course, one member, one vote. Pero, di ba may kasabihan which at least half the time applies and at least half the time doesn't apply, na blood is thicker than water. So kahit pagkatapos ng deliberations, kung may mga matters na pagbobotohan ng anumang legislative body, tayo, ang House or mga local legislative bodies, baka posibleng magka-count yung mga boto ng mga maaring eventually sa batas sakupin na political dynasty relationships dahil may conflict of interest.
That should
din,
apply
Mr.
if
President.
majority of the members of the Senate, for example, 13, magkakapatid, mag-ama, or maglolo, pwede sabihin natin na centralized in one, not family, but by virtue of relationship, either by affinity or consanguinity. Pero I don't think, it could happen, but very unlikely. Ang argument ko po is, yun nga, collegial body tayo, collective yung participation ng bawat isa sa atin, unlike the executive department, na talaga concentrated on one person.
I am very willing, Mr. President, na to continue to think and
Yes.
deliberate about
That's
this
good enough, Mr.
with
President.
the good SP pro tempore. Dahil kung ang Senate and numerically, according to different studies, the House ay overly represented ang mga political dynasties. Additionally, it sets the tone para sa mga eleksyon at para sa governance dito sa ating bansa na parang lalo na over time nano-normalize na to a significant degree iilang mga pamilya lamang ay maaring pagmulan ng mga magagaling na legislators or members of the executive na hindi yun po ang utos ng konstitusyon sa atin sa Kongreso na sa pamamagitan ng ganitong batas mas buksan ang espasyo, i-level yung playing field para sa pagkakataon na magsilbi sa public service ng mas maraming mamamayang Pilipino, Mr. President.
Yung sinabi nyo lang na open yung inyong mind
Opo, Mr.
to
President.
consider when you further study the matter or the argument that I posited. That's good enough for now,
Salamat,
Mr. President.
Opo.
Now, that brings me to my next question. Ito po ba mga congressmen, district representatives, are they national officials or local?
Napakagandang tanong niyan, Mr. President. At palagay ko, isa yan
Related
sa...
yan sa una kong argument
I
na
see, Mr. President.
i-dissociate natin yung nationally elected or national officials from the local officials.
Opo. Which is carried po, Mr. President, dito sa ating committee report.
Yes.
Separately po bibilangin yung posibleng iba na political dynasty relationship sa national, dun po sa local. Yung tanong po, Mr. President, ng Good SP Pro Tempore, palagay ko isa yon na pagdedebatihan talaga
Yes.
sa House Contingent kung makaabot po tayo sa BICAM.
Ang pinanggagalingan ko po, Mr. President, yung mismong provision ng Constitution, Article 6, no? Ang sinasabi rito, establishes the House of Representatives as part of the legislative department of the national government. So, maski elected sila sa district, pero they represent a national legislative body. And that would categorize them and for being national officials. Hindi po ba?
Debatable po, Mr. President. At maaring yan ang isang...
I'm only citing the Constitution.
Yes, Mr.
that they are
President,
national
the strongest
officials.
card of all, the Constitution. And palagay ko, isang malakas na baraha na dadalhin sa deliberations ng ating counterparts sa House pagdating po, pag makarating tayo sa BICAM. Ang perspective po sa ngayon ng ating committee report ay sila po ay ibibilang sa local officials. Dahil bagamat, opo, ang House ay bahagi ng national institution ng Kongreso, pero particular sa district representatives, hinahalal po sila ng mga constituents ng distrito
Yes.
nila. So may isang defined locality na bumoboto sa kanila. Iba pa yung talagang ang mga party list binoboto nationally. So i-consider na national officials. Pero district officials, sa current perspective ng committee report po natin, ay local officials. Mr.
Yeah, again, babalik po ako doon sa earlier argument ko na magkaiba naman yung function nila
President.
under the Constitution and under yung policy-wise, ano? Kasi yung isa executive, yung isa naman legislative. And one congressman, one district representative cannot centralize, di ba, the power, yung influence and power, collegial kasi. So balik uli ako sa argument yung binanggit kanina, Mr. President.
But that may be so, Mr. President, pero pwede ring hindi lang i-imagine, pero i-document yung mga actually existing relationships on the ground na ang isang legislator ay pwedeng impluensyahan yung, halimbawa, yung tsansa na ang kadinastiya niya ay magtagumpay sa pagtakbo para sa executive positions. One evil we seek to prevent is the close relationship between district legislators and local executives. Halimbawa po sa usapin ng pag-appropriate ng funds
Yeah.
para sa execution ng mga programs, activities,
Yeah.
and projects. May various iterations ng pork barrel funds na dinebate at binaka natin dito sa Kongreso ng ating Republika. And yes, the House and the Senate are collegial bodies, but we must not underestimate the power held by our individual legislators, kahit pa po ang ating mga district representatives, Mr. President.
Yeah, that's another issue altogether,
Sige
yung
po.
pork
Yes, Mr.
barrel,
President.
yung participation ng bawat legislator sa pag-implement, no? Yung iba kasi nag-implement, but we are not authorized to implement because ang papel lang
Yes.
natin is authorization phase. Wala tayo sa implementation.
Nga lang,
Ah,
Mr. President, yung legislator ay pwedeng collegially din
Yeah,
magpasa ng GAA, pero ang mag-execute at maaring nag-request
executive
in the whole
department.
cycle ay sa executive na maaring ka-dynasty niya, Mr. President.
Yes, but wala naman tayong power to implement or
Wala po,
execute.
as legislator.
Tayo
Opo.
tagagawa lang ng batas. So
Opo.
again, balik ulit ako sa basic argument ko na wag nating pagaluin sa political dynasty yung legislature at saka yung executive department. Anyway, sinabi nyo na open yung mind nyo. So wag nyo na baguhin
Pag-aaralan
yan.
ko po, lalo na po sa national level, mas
Yeah,
mahirap
especially
talaga.
sa national level.
Opo, pero mas mahirap talaga, pero gagawin pa rin itong representasyon sa local level dahil doon napakayaman ng
Meaning members of
documentation.
the Sangguniang Panlalawigan and Sangguniang Lungsod or Bayan.
Opo, Mr. President, pero pati members ng House of Representatives sa districts.
Yeah,
Mr.
but
President.
again, members of the House are national officials. They're not local
Sa
officials.
tingin po ng House, I would
No,
guess.
it's what the Constitution says.
Again,
They're national officials.
yun yung very provocative discussion po, Mr. President.
Last point na lang po, at ito binilabor na ni Senate President. Pero gusto ko pa rin i-touch yung Section D, partnerships without the benefit of marriage. Okay lang po yung Article 147. Pero kasi sila, maski common law relationships, capacitated sila to marry, di ba?
Opo.
Both of them. But in case both or either one of them walang capacity to marry, wag na natin isama yung 148 kasi wala na yun ang sasabi ng Article 148, in-include yung unions with legal impediment to marry. Kasi mahirap i-prove yun. Sabi nga ni Senate President, what if sabihin, hindi, break na kami, okay. So wag na lang natin ihalo, bayaan na lang natin silang, wag na saklawin ng political dynasty. After all, kung wala naman silang, hindi naman sila capacitated to marry, so hindi sila magkaano-ano.
Again, Mr. President, pag-aaralan po yan itong representasyon, but I just wish to reiterate or make of record na
I'm okay with
kaya-
147, but
yes, I
148,
understand, Mr. President.
under the family code, mukhang maraming problema ang haharapin.
Again, willing po akong pag-aralan yon yung maraming posibleng problema. Sabihin ko lamang po na kaya po sa committee report, isinasama po yung Family Code Article 148 dahil maaring may couples na nagko-cohabit kahit incapacitated from marrying each other. Halimbawa po yung legally separated pa lang. Or, so ibig sabihin, hindi pwedeng mag-asawa.
Yeah.
Or yung isang tanong kanina ng Good Senate President, pending pa petition for annulment. Ano pa ba? So yung ganun pong mga sitwasyon na tumitira po sila magkasama sa isang tahanan, or halimbawa, yung isa ay dating part ng isang marriage abroad na nag-divorce sila pero hindi pa po recognized yun dito. So kahit sila ay nagko-cohabit, di pa rin sila pwedeng mag-asawa kahit gusto nila. And yet, meron silang ganung relasyon na pwede talaga nilang mag-constitute ng isang political dynasty relationship, Mr.
I
President.
only brought that up para ma-simplify na lang yung issues to be resolved, ano. Kasi kung pati yung lalayo pa tayo na wala naman silang capacity to engage in a legal marriage, ano.
Gangster, you know, we do that better than anybody.
I bet you got it twisted, you don't know who to trust. So many player hating niggas trying to sound like us. Say they ready for the front, but I don't think they know it. Straight to the depths of hell is where them cowards going. Well, all you still down, nigga, holler when you see me. And let these devils be sorry for the day they finally free me. I got a caravan of niggas every time we ride. Hitting motherfuckers up when we pass by. Until I die, live the life of a boss player. Cause